Hello loyal team members and hello newbies. My name is Daryl, and normally we focus on Mandela Effect stuff here, and mainly on Earth changes, just because they're one of the things that I find are less disputable. I mean, so many of the other issues that just people shut the conversation off with "you don't remember right," and that's that. Where do you go from there, right? So that's why mainly I've focused on the Earth changes. But really, to be honest, all my efforts in everything I'm doing really boil down to the bottom line is that I don't take this wrong. I don't want to force my theories and opinions down anybody's throats, but I've done a lot of research, and a lot of things point to a lot of things that I think are really, really important for people to understand. And it all fits into just my theories on everything related to Mandela effects, and I think by the end of the video you'll understand why it's a pretty important issue to me personally, because we're going to take you for a little walk about my hometown, since we're getting to know each other a bit better, and you'll get to see why this is quite important. And it may at first appear to be kind of way off topic compared to the Earth changes, Mandela effect stuff, but I'm hoping I can tie it all together for you, and that's exactly what the purpose of the website is, that I'm steadily working on every day too. I actually kind of got the cart ahead of the horse a bit. I shouldn't have started throwing YouTube videos on the YouTube thing. I really didn't think anybody would watch them though, but the website wasn't, I should have had it ready before we got here. But anyways, that's a window of opportunity closed, and I'm still doing everything I can to get caught up, but I'm trying to tie the whole picture together for everybody, because to me, the way I'm sort of seeing it, the Mandela effect and all things covered under that umbrella are kind of, it's the final chapter in a long story that started, as near as I can tell, 250 years ago. And it's not a good story, folks. It's not a good story at all. It's a story of deception and lies and slavery and theft and murder, and it ain't good. And the story is our lives. That's just the way it is. And the fact is that at this stage of the game, the entire planet, globe, flat earth, whatever you believe it is, everything that we know as sovereign nations and free nations and West against East and this against that, it's all bullshit. It's all bullshit. It's all been hijacked by criminals that long time ago. And I mean, it's a long, long, deep story, but the problem is, I really do believe that what we're seeing in the Mandela effects is the creator of our stuff and us, I'm thinking. And thankfully, I think he's here to do something about stopping their plan, because their ultimate long-term goal was to reach the stage where they could physically, literally take physical control over every living, moving thing on this planet. And they're at that stage thanks to RFID and microchips and all the base technology that we've been watching them and helping them get ironed out for a long time. And the part of it that really concerns me and that's really prompting this video, there's a few major reasons, but one, I think if I can get enough response from all of you just because of the wide areas that y'all cover, I need to see if this same stuff is installed and ready to go in your cities too, because what it is the final end hardware system for dealing with microchipped citizens. And there's no other way to put it. So I'll just take you for a little walkabout. Don't take my word for nothing yet. I'll take you for a little walkabout around my hometown and show you what me and the wife ran around watching as they installed it. They did it fast. Like, this is the Edmonton greater area here. You're probably talking $1.5 million probably total in the areas that we watched them cover. And it was like less than 5 months. Basically from May-ish to, I think, October they were done, weren't they? When I was done that shutdown, they were done. Yeah, so May to October it took them. And it seemed to be a pretty pressing project, I guess, because the majority of it went on at night when they're paying all the crews overtime and stuff. So for now, we're going to put the ball away. And what I did after we put on thousands of miles and drank gallons of Timmy's and wore out a set of tires, just logging what was going on in our home, I tried to post it on Facebook to 91, 92 names in a friends list that I don't know what they are, but not one of them. And I don't know how many of them, a good majority of them live right in Edmonton. And I kid you not, I could not get one person to take note of any of this. Number one, the fact that, like, when we're tracking all this stuff down, we happen to notice that all the street cameras that have been up for 15, 20, 25 years all over the city, they're all gone. Nothing left but the rust stains on the poles where they were strapped to. But coincidentally enough, we've got brand new shiny lights everywhere. So I don't know. Are the cameras gone? Are they in those new lights? And all of that stuff, by the way, is all, I mean, sure, cities install new lights. I know that. I wouldn't be bringing it up if I haven't done my homework and checked the city budget and all their announcements and all their minutes in meetings, and it ain't there. There's no accounting for hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars worth of expenditure when we're in the worst economic situation we've been in ever. And you got to do the homework, people, and you got to go to the real facts and get the numbers. And you don't go and ask them. Well, you do, because that's part of the story, which I did, and got nothing. Got absolutely nothing. They will not even respond to my questions, and they're reasonable questions that any tax-paying citizen should have the right to know. You know? So here we are anyways. This is a camera that spins around to look at whatever it wants and stuff, and not exactly sure, because that's the thing. I asked the city, I wanted to know number one, what's the purpose of all this stuff? What's the cost to us as citizens? And could I please find out the manufacturers and model number, that type of info? I've tried to find it on your website, and I don't know why, but none of this stuff seems to be there. So I asked them if I could have that information. Actually, I asked them to steer me to it in their public forum someplace where it should be, but nope, nothing. No answers, no steering, no nothing. So here we are. That might not be too suspicious, but I just wonder if there's an easier way to do this. I should start a slideshow or something maybe. Is this the next one? No, sorry guys, I'm just not good at all this stuff, but see here again, I don't know, I couldn't, there are some of these things that we're going to cover, I was able to just from hours and hours on the internet searching pictures and companies that supply various things and stuff, I was able to find out what some of this stuff was. Hey, there it is. There's an arrow. Nice. So this is one I haven't been able to put a lock on. These are antennas for like their microwave network sort of thing. And that's just the other angle of that camera and whatever. But these things, they're setting them up at all the major cloverleaf arteries in the ring road highways that I suspect the ring road that they just completed this few months ago is, I highly suspect that's going to be their initial perimeter when they call martial law. But you can see this thing up here. This is another device that's been popping up. It seems almost like they're not decided on their final which device they're going to go with. Again, this is for the network system. It's an aerial for these things to all communicate. Forgive me if we do too many of the same ones. See, all the cameras disappearing too. They're starting to come back, not in the city proper, but in like the outlying communities. They're starting to come back, and all they have though is like a wire loop like this that doesn't seem to go anywhere, so I'm suspecting they're wireless now. And I think that they needed the wire network that all the old cameras were on for their actual RFID transponder system that is going to be tracking all of us. That's just a theory though. But you can get this thing to respond to you too if you just give it a wave and kind of dance around, then they'll, once they notice you, they'll take a closer look at you. And these things we'll get a closer look into. You're probably thinking camera or whatever, and so was I at first, but I don't believe so, because you have a close-up someplace, but it looks to me like it's a socket sort of thing waiting for the final fixture to just get twisted into it. Oh yeah, this was the power panel on the little tower things that I was showing you with the camera and the whatever. Like, you guys got to realize how little power any of that takes. Even the RFID transponders and stuff, it takes very little juice. And yet, their supply box for the thing is 600 friggin' volts for that camera and those two little round doodads and two aerials that you saw. Like, I know this won't make sense to a lot of you people, but anyone in engineering, electrical, there's a lot of yous that will, like me. So, yeah, see, I wish this, here, we can zoom in there. Go. Come on. Yeah, you see? Now, there's no camera in there. These are screws, like Phillips screws or whatever. And this is like, doesn't that look like an unfinished light bulb socket type thing or whatever? Who knows? Maybe it is. Maybe it's going to be like some kind of massive floodlight sort of thing. But I don't know. And these are definitely like microwave RFID wireless transponders, is you're helping them get the system set right now by carrying around your chipped bank cards, your tap and pay things, and any chipped crap. It's helping them get this all set up. But here's our new light fixtures. Like, they're new everywhere. They changed out the whole city. It's like I said, it's like 1 million people or whatever. Changed it all out, no mention of the expenditures anywhere. You can see all the shiny new strapping on all of it. In a lot of cases, what they've done, these were old light poles that this all wasn't here. These things continued straight up and turned into a light. And that was a big part of their operations at night, was replacing, cutting these poles off and welding flanges on here. So then instead of having to come along and install, they just come along, rip this whole arm off, drop her down, boom, boom, 2, 4, 6, 8 bolts, whatever, boom, connect a couple wires, all your new lights, all your new trackers. This is one I was able to find. That's the only reason, because I asked the city straight up, are these RFID receivers or transceivers or transponders? And I mean, that's something we got. What the hell would they be using it for? They don't. And I asked the question because I know these are, because I worked in the railroad industry long enough. They've been using RFID tracking on rail cars for, I don't know, 40 years probably. Like, you guys don't realize how much technology they hold back from us and hide from us. Here again, it's that same aerial that we showed you earlier for their network, but these poles are popping up all over with these aerials on them and for no reason. Yeah, this is the one that definitely, these are definitely what happens when you come along with your chip, it's sending out a signal that pings this thing, so then it grabs all your information off the chip and keeps you registered in the system, so they know where you are at all times. Why did I take this one? Oh yeah, because in the background here, there's a lot of intersections where they'll take advantage of other buildings and things, especially where they own everything. It's not like they've got to go get people's permission in very many cases. See, you can see it's just that aerial, but it's made to just look like look at the fancy ornamental pole or whatever, right? I mean, fuck off. Fucking assholes. Yeah, this thing here, they sit either square or diamond, on the corner, it doesn't matter, but these things are, for, like I say, 30, 40 years, they've had these set beside railroad tracks in various places, and then there's tags on the cars, which I used to work on, repair, they're the one that's sending out the ping. This thing will pick up, and that's how they know where all their cars are, what product is where, and blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah. That's all you ever get from it is blah, blah. See, here is one example of cameras. They're just your major intersections. They did put visible cameras back up. I don't know why, if it's just a psyop or whatever. So, because people really are that dumbed down that all the 4 cameras that were at every intersection can get reduced down to this, and nobody's going to notice the difference. And these only at 1 out of whatever, hundreds of intersections. But again, yeah, your transponder doodaddies. I mean, this is every intersection, people. And I'm just showing you all the different types so that you'll know what here's the one that is easier to spot in most locations. So you got no pictures of the cameras. They're starting to bring back the wireless ones, because I just haven't done that yet. But this thing here, made by Errata, you can find this on the internet yourself. There's probably a better picture somewhere, but you can see the aerials on it and see anything. That's the other thing you guys can help with. I was able to find this quite easily, and all the data on it because of the name on it, or there's a couple other things I could get a clear enough picture that I got a model number off of, and or a serial number, that type thing. And you just, it's amazing what you punch into Google and it'll actually fucking bring you something up. Like, so, but yeah, there was so much of this I wasn't able to get actual verification on, but enough of it to definitely not go against my theory coming into it. Only supported it. Yeah, and these things, like all the microwave towers, now they're starting to fucking set up these little mini ones here and there at again, just the major intersections. And actually, believe it or not, you can tell by driving around the whole city, logging where all this different stuff is and seeing where there is nothing. You can tell where the areas are. They're just gonna, whatever. Don't know if they're gonna drop bombs on them, doze them, leave them what they are, who knows. But they don't seem to have any plans for the coming future. See this thing here, there you can read it clear enough so you can look it up yourself, but it's it does everything. It does wireless, does Wi-Fi, RFID, and these things got good range. All these scanners, the ones I was able to find, they got range of like upwards of 300 feet. So that's the thing. They took down 4 cameras and they're putting up one of these transponders in each intersection, and it's obviously going to meet their needs. But again, here, what? I don't know. Nothing good. And I don't know, how do you not, when they absolutely refuse to answer your questions, how do you not assume something not positive? See, and as far as, like, remember we zoomed in, it looked kind of like a light socket, but it doesn't actually. When you can, the picture just isn't good. Like, it's not a light socket. It's some other electrical connection though, and kind of a, like, stick it in and half turn type thing. It'll be something that goes in quick, and it ain't gonna be a light bulb, because here's the fucking light right here, right beside it. So I don't know, maybe not absolute proof, but it kind of rules out that theory. So if that's what a lot of yous were thinking, back to square one. Okay, why can't I go anywhere here? What the hell? Oh, we're probably at the end. Okay, there we have it. Okay, so yeah, you'll notice these were FB1s because I was trying to keep track of what I posted and didn't. I was trying to wake somebody up in my home here, but nobody would wake up. So let's see. Oh yeah. Yeah, one day when we're out doing this, I just couldn't resist grabbing the chemtrail here just because of the Illuminati signage in it. I don't know if that was on purpose or not, but you know what? It happens so freaking often that I don't know. I wouldn't say they don't do it once in a while just to laugh at you. Now, speaking of voltages and wattages and stuff, that's the other thing. Like, all this stuff on the website, it all ties together, because, like, they want us to believe there's satellites up there, which I'm sure there isn't. That was like an entire year spent figuring that out for sure or not. But why do we need these things jammed up our ass? And this is a tame one. Why do we need these things every 150, 200 feet? Where the fuck do the satellites come into play? And why are all our satellite dishes all pointed at the nearest fucking level of one of these? You just gotta, that's the thing, I believed all that shit myself up until last year or so too, till I finally asked the question and then set out to answer it, right? You just don't question enough is all. But yeah, there's more towers in the background there and stuff. You guys, there's a lot of good stuff to think about. Oh, I forgot to cover the voltages. And see, these things are not just for communication. Are you kidding me? You think? No, really, these little round drums here are basically all we should be having for our cell, our radio, TV. They don't even do TV that way anymore, but you know what I mean. All this shit, these are weaponized. This is well, I can't guarantee that, but I suspect these are weapon. Oh yeah, and all these VHF in Canada here a couple of years ago, they took away, they quit transmitting any VHF TV signal, which is what it all used to be, and it's because they wanted to commandeer the system for their RFID tracking system, and it's going to run the transceivers, receivers run on microwave, but the actual network runs on VHF, and that's what all these tall towers are, and those are aerials, and those shorter ones we're showing you. So, and the reason I suspect these are weaponized microwave towers where they can basically just fucking toaster fry your ass whenever they take the notion to, is because of the wattage again. Like, I didn't get any pictures because I was in a hurry and shit, obviously. But I can fucking assure you, like, actually, you can see this cabling was that, no. Yeah, if this is sending you signal to your Wi-Fi, and here's a Wi-Fi thingy right there anyway. But, and why do they need that? A separate network to run all this shit. Fuck you. You know, but anyways, there's thousands and thousands of watts going to these things. They got enough here to cook everything within thousands of feet, 1,000 times over, as far as the juice they're supplying to that thing. These are all things that you... Oh, Anthony Henday, this was just to those little tower things with the cameras and whatever. See, this on the top of the TV station, these things are actual microwave signals for your cell phones and your radio, kind of stuff. That's all they remember back when they used to call them microwave towers, like they were. Now, well, yeah, they're microwave towers, all right. But some other things, too. Yeah, these, I don't know, could somebody, I'm a welder, not an electrician. I've just worked on a lot of mechanical shit where I learned all the electrical, too, but to me, this doesn't seem right to have, you got this, obviously a power carrier here, and then you've got an insulator, and then why would you have this other insulated line going around this? I mean, it's probably nothing, but it's not something I've noticed. I mean, it's kind of a new thing, so if someone could let me know if that's normal, so I can check it off my list of things that need to be answered. That would be lovely. What are we looking at here? Oh yeah, the fact that all these new poles, these things, they've had this stuff laying in a laydown area someplace since 2010, and they only started, these things all went up in 2016 in a matter of months, and you can see the rust on the screws, on the tags and stuff, and these new poles they put up. There again, that's the old style transponder that they used for the trains for many years. And your VHF aerials that are showing up on all their networkable shit. And these are VHF too. Isaiah will get numbers of those. Another toaster fry! Fuck! Why is it heating up in here, Martha? What's going on? Yeah, no, they don't have good plans for us. Oh yeah. Check this bad boy out. And again, controlled with VHF. Hopefully I got more close up here. But yeah, they're saying, I think they want you to believe it's like an air raid siren or something, but I think it's a sound cannon myself. If you understand the difference, but sound cannons, they blast you with such a whacked frequency. They got two ways. They got the siren kind that are actually, it is that loud that turn power off to siren when servicing to prevent permanent hearing loss. I mean, really? You're gonna get permanent hearing loss off a short accidental whew out of the thing? That's some serious ass fucking screaming. But yeah, I kind of suspect these are probably sound cannons that were, oh yeah, I didn't finish, where they, some of them are actual sound that are just, you just can't stand it. It'll drive you out of your fucking mind when they set her off. And there's other ones that are microwave based that they blast a microwave into your head, and it makes your brain, everything, you don't know the difference. You think it's a super loud sound that's blasting your head off that you just can't get any relief from. So, anyways, I know that was a little bit of a different kind of approach, but this is, I had to get her out there because I'm gonna put its own forum in the blog just for this topic. And I so would appreciate, like, this is important to all of us. If every single one of you that live in a populated area, if you could start to keep your eyes out and please comment in there how much of this, if you see in the identical stuff or things that is probably the same or things that you can research and find out is the same but looks different. Like, we gotta see how close these ass clowns are to being ready to lock us down and chip us up, because I'd really love to find out that my city's a little ahead of the curve and that a whole bunch of yous are behind, so we know we probably got a little more time. But I don't know, people, this is so important that we kind of figure this out so that we can figure out when our Mandela window is closing on us, because I hope that's, who knows if he's gonna let them roll with their shit ass plans to wake people up if the rest of the stuff ain't going. I don't know. As you know, any of you regulars, I got him on fuck you mode right now over that basic thing, or the fact that I think there's information he should have been fucking sharing that he didn't, that would have changed outcomes that I think should have been changed. Whatever, but whatever. Fuck, we gotta figure this stuff out, people, because we're in big trouble if this shit is in all of our major cities around the world. And please, when you're checking in, please say what area you're from, what country at least, or what city. Would be really good. And okay, I know we're gonna get back to the Earth Changes for sure on the next video. Because we gotta get to spinning and pinning before all this shit's there already, and there's nothing left to predict. Alright guys, have a good one.